things at the top of the screen and the time's counting up. So if I go over here now to my PC. Oh wow, it says live. I think I'm going to hear myself. Oh wow, it's live. That's me! Hooray! Welcome everybody! Right, Edge of Eternities. I have a special guest today. Are you all excited? I have Sarah Schmera sitting in my sofa. She has come to visit me today. Say hello.
Hello.
Did that come across okay? I don't know. I've not got an expensive recording studio with 1 million microphones or anything. So you might hear a voice coming in. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm talking to a huge audience, because probably I'm just talking to me and you, aren't I? But people in the future will wonder. So yes, if you hear something in the background, that is who it is. My house is not haunted. Well, not anymore than it normally is. Anyway, do we have any housekeeping? What have we just got rid of? Return to Ravnica. I mean, other than to say the sets are coming out too fast at the moment, aren't they? We think that, I think. It's been mentioned on the forums already. Like, they don't have to. It occurs to me they don't have to release 6 sets a year. They probably want to for the money, but if it's really unpopular, they don't have to, because they haven't got the licenses for all the universes beyond. So they didn't have to give us Ravnica Remastered. There might be some kind of behind the scenes deal going on with Wizards of the Coast we don't know about, because we know they talked to them about Ravnica Remastered. So maybe Hasbro said, no, you definitely have to earn as much money as possible. But I mean, I would have thought they just pay a one-off license fee. I'm not sure Hasbro get any residuals coming through. But anyway, I don't think they necessarily had to do Ravnica Remastered. And next time we get a Universes Beyond set that they haven't got a license for, maybe they could just not do it. How about that? And then give us all a chance to breathe from this super fast set release schedule. I still miss Duskmorn. That's what I miss. That was my favourite one, with the big infinite haunted house. I was a big fan, and that just blew by in an instant. And that was probably 3 whole months, wasn't it? Not even 2 months like we get at the moment. No, can't think of anything else very much to say. So, do you know what I've not done? I've not set this up in advance. What are we going to? We're going to... Well, let's put Magic Puzzle Quest in. Yes, that was silly of me not to... Oh, is it that? Yes, forums.d3go. There it is. So, we're going to head off to the... information 7.4.0, I believe it is, about the new set release. Everyone stay here while I go and get my glasses, which I've foolishly left. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's very kind of you. This is great. I've got little magical helpers with me this time, so I don't need to keep putting my tablet down the whole time. So, 7.4.0. Thank you very much for my glasses there, Sarah. Set rotation. With this update, we say a goodbye to a few sets in standard. DMU Bro, 1 and Mom are now legacy sets. Well, other content creators, I think, have said a lot more about me on the subject of what's rotating out. Mostly, I think I'm going to miss Threats Undetected and possibly, what's the big black spell? Breach the Multiverse. But I don't actually play Threats Undetected a lot, and I barely play Breach the Multiverse. So, given that those are the spells I'm going to miss the most, it's not going to have much effect on my my standard deck that I like to play. You know, the one with Golden Wish, and with the Mystical Teachings, and Swarmyard, that's not going either. And Demolition Field isn't going, and Desert's not going, you know. So I'm pretty sure Requisition Raid, that's not going. So personally, I'm not going to feel a huge effect from this rotation. It'll be next year's that's going to be a big Big kick, but probably a big kick for everybody because all of the power creep from OTJ is going in the next rotation. What have we got? Revolving Planeswalker is now a legacy event. It will not be offered weekly anymore. Okay. Yeah, fair enough, whatever. A new event will be available Monday to Friday. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Following events remain standard. Now, I had a bit of a flip out earlier today about how rubbish it is that old Coalition events always rotate into Legacy and they all suck. Oh, hello, that's Joy knocking on the window. Magical Fairies, what do you do with that for me?
You want to go for coffee? Oh, we'd love to see just doing his stream. We used to be up in about an hour.
It's all just happening by magic, you see. I don't have to do this. Is brilliant. I should have got a butler years ago. This is great. Where was I? Yes, I was having a Barney earlier about the fact that all these events were going to go into Legacy, which would make them all the same. But they're not, look. They're remaining in Standard and having their rewards updated. Now, I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me that Break the Power Stone is giving out DFT packs and Of Machines of Freedom is giving out RVR packs. You know? I feel like, I mean, people still need to get hold of the old sets blocks anyway. They're all boosters anyway, so how about mixing them up and putting both DFT and Bro packs in? Break the Power Stone. But I am basically happy to see these events rotate with Standard rather than all just get deprecated into Legacy, because I hate that, as you'll probably know. The new rewards were chosen, so the new rewards are still aligned with the objectives of each event and its mechanics. I can't even remember what the mechanics were in Bro. Can you? One had poison. One was poison, wasn't it? What did Neo have in it? No, mechanics are just so underwhelming these days. I can never remember what the bloody hell they are. I remember some specific cards from these sets, but I don't remember what the mechanics are. But they don't. I don't think any of these events really had like mechanic-based objectives. We used to have, objectives, and they would say things like, play 5 cards with Partner or 5 cards with Surveil or whatever. And they haven't really done those for a while, which surprises me because it's a really cheap and underhand way to sell more cards, I think. But there you go. That makes me happy that these events are not... Well, I don't particularly like these events. They're not particularly interesting, are they? They're all kind of cookie cutter Octagon events, are they? But I still like the fact that they're staying in Standard. Let's move on. New Planeswalkers. Tezzeret Cruel Captain. He is colourless, which makes sense for an artifact guy, doesn't it? 142 life is a lot. Blah, 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 blah. Right, so, hands up anyone who thinks they've done the mana bonus thing. He's got +1 mana bonus across the board. They think that's going to be enough, don't they? Ability 1, the first artifact card in your hand gains 6 mana. If you control an artifact creature, your first artifact creature gets +2/+2. So you're not getting a new card. You're getting 6 mana, but only if it's already in your hand and it's an artifact. For 5, no, it's a bit poo. I mean, it could be worse, but it's a bit poo. Genius Machinations. Pick one of the first 4 artifact cards with base cost 10 or less from your library. No, for 13 loyalty, we could definitely have anything, couldn't we? I mean, it is... I suppose you're picking it, aren't you? Put that card into play. I mean, that might be a bit too good. I admit that. If you could go and get a Chimil, and if you could go and get, I don't know, whatever a good artifact is. I suppose there's the End Stone coming up in this set, isn't there? That's probably quite a good artifact. But 10 or less for 13 loyalty. I mean, that's a Cryptex. Anyone excited by burning a Cryptex out halfway through the game? Not especially. I don't know. You go and get a Torpor Orb. I really want to like Torpor Orb, but I haven't yet. And I'm not sure if it works yet. And I don't play it enough to tell you confidently that it doesn't work. But I still feel like there's time for me to get into it. So I'm underwhelmed, but it could be worse. Create 3 robot tokens. Now, we've seen these in the spoiler season. These are 2/2 artifact creatures. So we've got a 6/6 creature there. That's what 3 robot tokens is. And 3 Darskteal adapter tokens. Is it going to tell us what those are? No, it's not going to tell us what those are. So I've got no idea what they are. Yeah, there's nothing pumping his mana abilities up, are there? They don't know. We need to tell them. Shout loudly, my minions. Shout loudly at Webcore that they need to, like, have something that makes those mana bonuses better. That's why we like Karn 1, and that's why we don't like any other colourless Planeswalker, is the mana bonuses. And it makes a real difference. Whatever his abilities have been like, it would make a real difference that his mana abilities suck. So I can't say we're going to be spending cash on him. He's in the shop at the moment for presumably about $30. The Eternal Wanderer, we've had one of these before and it was crap. 122 life. We've got +7, +3, +3, -2, -2. Oh, those are Jace Mirror Mage mana bonuses. I quite like mana bonuses like that, to be honest. You know, you've got 1 really big one, but then 2 also very substantial ones. I quite like that. I suppose it makes sense because he's a mono, like Jace Mirror Mage is a mono. Deck limit 9 creatures, we don't care about that. Passive ability, unstable planeswalking. Oh, I see. They've given us a link, have they? Let's see if this tells us what unstable planeswalking does. We could find out what those Darksteel tokens do as well. Yes, we do. So this is his passive. At the end of your turn, if you made a loyalty match by swap, oh, we're going to be talking about this. Making loyalty matches by swap. Yes, this will not be the last we hear about that in this set review. Your white mana bonus is increased by X until the end of your next turn. Right, so I'm going to match 3 loyalty on this turn. Yeah. And then next turn, to take advantage of this passive, I then have to make a white swap and I will get an extra +3. And I'm really wondering now why I didn't just take a white match on this swap and also a white match on the next swap and just generally be better off. Do you know what I mean? It looks a bit rubbish, actually. I mean, it's something. And yes, sometimes you might want to take some loyalty, but unimpressed with the passive. What do we got here? Ability 1 costs 9, expensive. Draw 2 cards. Disable the first 2 opposing creatures until the beginning of your next turn. That's very Tamiyo. Doesn't Tamiyo do something similar? It's like her first 2 mixed together, actually, isn't it? Her first 2. Tamiyo does draw 2 cards, but there needs to be a creature in play. And it gives it like, what, -5, -0 or something.
I'll look it up.
Thank you. And my minions there. And then her second ability does the disabling the creatures. I mean, really, I'm so laser focused now on wanting a first ability that draws cards and puts mana in it that I'm generally unimpressed. Couple it with the fact it's on a mono planeswalker, and I think this is one to skip once again. Cost 12, create a samurai. Convert 5 gems to white at level 4. So, I mean, you are getting the conversion then. You're choosing to do, you're looking at the board, you're doing the conversion if you want out of choice, and then you get to make a swap afterwards. Samurai token is probably quite small, isn't it? What's a samurai token? Oh, well, they haven't bothered to tell us what that is. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's a 2/2 creature. Sounds like a 2/2 creature, doesn't it? But I mean, convert 5 gems to white is cute, but it's certainly not going to cause a massive cascade and gain you loads and loads of mana. It's okay. Create a minor kinetic exhaustion token. Right, well, we want to look at the big one, the Supreme Kinetic Backlash token. Well, they all sound very impressive. I wonder if they actually are. Let's have a look. When you take damage for the first time during your turn, prevent 20 of that damage. Then destroy the support. When this support is destroyed, destroy all opposing creatures. That's quite good, isn't it? So that is going to cost like 28 now. That costs 17. That's a fair cost for something like that, isn't it? For 17 loyalty, we get this thing that sits in play. If it happens to get blown up early, if Greg demolishes it, it's going to kill all of his creatures. If not when he tries to attack you, or burn you, or whatever, it's going to prevent quite a chunk of that, and then also kill all of his creatures. I'd kind of rather it sat in play and prevented 20 damage every turn, but then I'm sure we all would, wouldn't we? But I will take that as a consolation prize, the fact that after it does it for the first time, it blows up and destroys all opposing creatures. I mean, this is not the worst mono I've seen. I like the mana bonuses, but it's a bit meh, isn't it? The first ability is a bit meh. It's not bad, but it's a bit meh. The second ability is not bad. It's a bit meh. I like the third ability, the Wandering. Yeah, I might buy the Eternal Wanderer. Do you know why? Because it starts with the letter T and doesn't get in the way of all the other Planeswalkers in my Planeswalker Select menu. That's why I might buy it. Oh, the other reason I might buy it is because I have like 9,000 crystals and nothing really to do with it at the moment. So God, no, I'm not going to spend money on it. Don't, for the love of God, take that as an endorsement for me saying you should spend money on it. That is not what I said. Let's just go back to Tezzeret and see what his token was. Right, so yes, so we're right about the robot tokens. They are 2/2 artifacts. And his third ability was also creating 3 Darskateel adapter tokens. Well, presumably this Darksteel adapter token will have to do for the moment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, your artifact creatures get +X/+X. Right. So it's a 6/6, but it becomes a 9/9. A 9/9 with prevent damage. Well, that's not very interesting, is it? Because it doesn't actually like have any kind of defensive ability or berserker or anything like that. So the prevent damage is kind of nothing. So you're basically spending 15 loyalty on a 9/9 creature, which is definitely not good enough. So I think Tezzeret sucks. I think we have to say that Tezzeret sucks. And that the Eternal Wanderer, while not going after, is at least better than Tezzeret. There you go. I'll go that far. Those are all the Planeswalkers. We really need a good one, though, don't we? Isn't it a long time since... It's not that long. I looked it up the other day. The last really good Planeswalker we had was a Minotaur, and that's not too... That's only about 3 or 4 sets ago. What set's a Minotaur from? Minion, get to work. Right, this power is really going to go to my head. I've been going half an hour. Can you imagine what I'm going to be like after like 4 hours being in charge of somebody? I'm going to be absolutely insufferable. Let's move on. While we're waiting for that information about a Minotaur, let us move on to Planar Chaos. Now, we've all presumably had a chance to play this today. I've played it today. It is a conversion of Battles from the Ages. It is Battles from, is it? Yeah, I think Battles from the Ages. So, you're playing against a bunch of PvE opponents from times past. And all the PvE opponents that I've seen have all been ones that have appeared in Battles from the Ages, including some of the really tough ones. I know someone played Nicol Bolas earlier today. I played one of the Eldrazi that had like 360 life. That seems a bit cruel to me for the new players to throw them up against like really high level PvE. Because of course us experienced old hand players, we don't give a crap. We can just blow through any PvE level without breaking a sweat. But for the new players, it seems a bit mean to put them up against... Minotaur was in... What set's that? Do you know if you go into the game, you can search the Planeswalkers by set?
Can you really?
You can. Sorry about that. What on earth was I talking about? yes, I would say it seems a bit mean to put new players up against the top level of PvE opponents. Now, you only have to win 5 games to get to the end of the progression ladder, but you only get 2 losses, and if you lose twice, you will get locked out. We're playing in standard. Now, this is kind of interesting about Planar Chaos. We're playing in standard, but we have these opponents with these big old life totals. So this is going to, that's Foundations, the starring one. This is going to mean that a lot of people, Foundations, I'm just hearing in my earpiece, that a minute 2 is in Foundations. That's quite a long time ago, isn't it? That's what, 4 sets?
Yeah, December of last year.
December, it's time we had a Planeswalker that doesn't suck, please. Webcore. That's my message there. What was I saying? Yes, high life totals. So, I mean, you probably don't want to blow into Planar Chaos with your normal standard deck, which is just going to deal 20 damage every turn, and kill your opponent like that. You're going to be a bit bored if you're going to want to deal 360 damage to somebody. So it's going to be worth, maybe, if you haven't got one, it's going to be worth building a new standard deck to play in this event. And that in and of itself, I suppose, is kind of interesting. I do already have something that deals a huge amounts of damage in standard. I like to play with Elspeth, the Vanguard Elspeth, and with Porcelain Gallery, which turns all her 1/1 she produces into 4/4. So that's what I was playing with today. Tokens are a little bit slow, but you know, this is pumping those tokens up to large sizes. But I still might build something else. We've got a new card in the set that does what Unstoppable Slasher does, and Unstoppable Slasher is better. But you know, dealing half of somebody's life to them in life loss is the type of thing you might want to be playing in Planar Chaos. So I'm kind of into that, actually. I'm kind of into the fact that we've got a standard event that requires you to blow through these high life totals. Again, though, seems a bit mean on the new players, because they don't have all the mythics and the masterpieces that allow you to do that. I believe Unstoppable Slasher is rare, isn't it? But, yeah. Seems a little mean on the new players, to me. We will see. There might be, if people complain about things, I can see them changing the charges on this event. I can see them changing the fact that you get 2 losses and you get locked out. Because why, you're paying for the event, why would you not just have it so you can play as many times as possible? Yeah, and just work your way through the progression ladder. How about that? I think they might change that. Now, they have already changed something else, weirdly enough, about this event. If you go down to the bottom of the screen, we will see special rules. You'll face random PvE from the MTGPQ Multiverse. This is how, not what it said earlier today. I've seen screenshots of earlier today. What it says is you'll face random PvE events. I'll put it up on my screen. Random PvE from the MTGPQ universe, and also it said something about, excuse me just a second, Planar Chaos. Yeah, what it said earlier, it said you'll face random enemies which can either be players participating in the event or PvE enemies from the MTGPQ universe. They have changed that now, though. It only said that for an hour or so, as far as I can tell. And now I think we're supposed to only be facing PvE opponents. However, when I played it, quite late on today, certainly after I'd seen this this update, I was still facing, well, what seemed to me to be human planeswalkers. I played against Nissa, Sage Animist. I played against Rel, Crackling Wit. There was some weird thing going on where the game didn't tell me which player I was playing against. They didn't tell me the player name I was playing against. It just told me the name of the planeswalker. So again, we're not entirely sure if we were playing against actual human planeswalkers. In fact, given that me and Sarah both played against the same Nissa Sage Animist and it seemed to be playing all the same cards, we came to the conclusion that it was probably a pre-built Webcore deck. But we don't know. We don't know how it's going to change. It looks like it's going to settle down. It looks like they made a choice. They've changed their minds. And it's going to settle down into just being the levels from Battles from the Ages. But we shall see in the future. Anything interesting down here? Nope. 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 Oh, they fixed one. I've got a big old thread of instances of Greg targeting his bad effects at his own stuff, and they fixed one of them, so that's nice, isn't it? I think there's about 12 in there at the moment. I'm adding to it all the time. They've decided to fix one of them, so that's nice. It's nice that they've thrown me a bone there. I wonder if they know why I'm doing it. Do they think they make me happy by paying lip service to the fact that, you know, I've reported all these bugs and they fix less than 10% of them? Yeah? Is that what it's about? Is the purpose of fixing bugs to fix just enough of them to make me happy? Because that's not really what it's about, is it? I don't think so. That is everything from here. Shall we get into the game and have a look at cards? Oh, and look, I had it in the background and I've just swapped back into the game and it didn't crash. Well done, Webcore. I don't think it's anything. Of course there are known issues. Should we go and have a look at what the known issues are? Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah, there were problems, weren't there? Like people opening VIP boosters. Yeah, go and have a look. I'm not going to go too heavily into all of this, because you can read it all on the screen. But yes, there were some problems with opening your boosters. So go read that in the game before you start opening boosters, people. I had a problem with that. So what I've done here is I've collected, these are the two Battles from the Ages exclusives, because they get added to boosters, and I had a few spare boosters set aside. I've also opened one single 5-card booster that I got from the new event, Planar Chaos, including this guy who got spoiled just the other day. So these are the cards that I have. Let us go into alphabetical. Oh, everything's all set up. It's all good. Let's go! Adagia, Windswept Bastion. So this is a planet. Planets are a thing. Planets have station. Oh, do you know what didn't happen when we looked at the notes for the update? Didn't explain the mechanics to us, did it? It normally does that, doesn't it? Well, that's okay, because we're in the game. The update's in the game. We can click on it and see what it does. This is a 15 mana card that converts 3 gems to white gems. So that's too expensive for a land, isn't it? But wait, we have Station 4. Yeah, so cards with Station gain charge when you make loyalty matches by swap. See, I told you to be returning to that. Cards with Station will have additional effects when they reach enough Station value or more. So this comes into play with Station 0. Yeah? Well, with a 0 station value. It doesn't have Station 0. It's got Station 4. I'm confused already. So, yeah, surely it should come into play with Station 4 and then maybe decrease, and then you wouldn't. Never mind. They don't care. So you need to make 4 loyalty swaps. Loyalty matches by swap, so not just casting Golden Wish. You can't just cast a Golden Wish and get all of them, right? And then when it gets to 4 different loyalty matches by swap, you can already tell that I'm not liking this, can't you? 4 different loyalty matches by swap, then this other effect becomes active. And the other effect here is at the end of your turn, reinforce a non-token artifact card you control at random. Well, this isn't a non-token artifact card, but you wouldn't want to reinforce this anyway. So what we've got is an expensive land. Yeah. Now, I don't like this. I don't like this expensive land business, you know. 15 mana's too much for a land, for my liking. 7 mana's good. I mean, I shouldn't really compare everything to the clue lands. You know, when it comes to conversion lands, the best ones in standard at the moment are the clue lands, aren't they? I mean, you could say Cryptex. Zivert, of course, would immediately leap in and tell me, well, that's not actually a land, Steve. But when it comes to conversion lands, I think we're talking about the clue lands, and I think it's pretty obvious those were a mistake, weren't they? They wanted to make those cost 13. They spoiled them at 13 mana, and then we said, oh, can you make them cheaper? So then they made them too cheap at 7 mana, but now they're keeping quiet about it because they want to pretend that wasn't a mistake making them 7 mana, you know? And like, as I say, it doesn't seem like a big difference. My memory says they spoiled them at 13 mana, right? And we didn't like them. But, you know, they did convert 4 gems. And honestly speaking, 4 gems is kind of too much, you know, for a 7 mana land. I mean, they don't seem like too much because we've got so much other power creep around at the moment. You know, we're in a world which has Dragonhawks and Demolition Fields in it. So they don't seem too powerful, but they are part of the power creep. So I don't really want to see a load of 7 mana cards that convert 4 gems. But you know what I would like is some 7 mana cards that convert 3 gems. That doesn't seem too broken, does it? I'm pretty sure we've had some of those in the past. 15 is too much. The point of lands is you put them down right at the start of the game. They get the ball rolling. They help you cast your spells. 15 mana is too much for it. If I get this in my hand and I get a Dragonhawk in my hand, I'm going to play the bloody Dragonhawk, aren't I? So, too expensive. And then we've got Station 4, which is just too much. So that's 4 turns. This is the way to think about it. This is 4 turns where instead of getting some mana and putting that mana into your hand, you chose not to do that and you got some loyalty instead. When you put it in those terms, you can presumably see how much that is slowing you down. Now, fair enough, you're going to get some cascades some of the time. Some of the times you have to match the loyalty by swap, yeah? You have to do that, but maybe after that loyalty has been matched by swap, maybe some of those turns there's going to be a cascade and you get some actual mana from some things. But it's not going to happen a lot, is it? You know, you're going to be looking at the board, you're going to be saying, well, the best move is this, or I can take a loyalty swap. And you're going to have to do that 4 times to turn Station on. It's too much. Station 2. Do we like Station 2? How would that be? Station 1 maybe sounds too good, but fuck it, why not try Station 1? Why start with Station 4? And I know for certain it's going up to like Station 9. Somebody showed me a Station 9 card. Station 4 is too much. So we've got a land that's too expensive with an ability that's too expensive. That's what's going on there. Let's move on. Alibu. Ancient Witness. Oh, I like the art. The artwork's got a bit of it's got a bit of a kind of a... Yeah, no, that's what it reminds me. It reminds me of Ascension. I've been playing a lot of Ascension. Ascension is a deck building game that I've been playing solo a lot recently. I've been terribly addicted to it. But you know, Magic tends to do hyper real art a lot of the time, and this isn't, and I like that. I like the style of it. Anyway, shall we actually read what it does? No, let's have a closer look at the art. Then let's read what it does. While this creature is on the battlefield, your artifact creatures gain haste. Okay, so it gains haste. It is, unfortunately, I've just noticed, a 20 mana 4/4 with Defender. I mean, those are not good numbers, are they? Wow, that is bad. It's got haste, but, you know, I mean, good. I'm glad this 20 mana creature is going to hit Greg once, at least, for 4 mana, because it's going to die next turn, isn't it? When your first creature attacks, deal X damage to any target. X is the number of creature cards and artifact cards you control, including their reinforcements, up to 15. Right. So if I've just got this, I've got a 20 mana 4/5 with Defender, and when it attacks, it's going to deal 1 damage to a thing. So obviously that's shit. Right? If I've got like this and 4 gold tokens, I've still got a 20 mana 4/5 with Defender, only this time it's going to deal 5 damage to a target. and I'm afraid I don't care. Yeah, it's so bad on its own, and I really don't care about pumping. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're peppering the battlefield with gold tokens. Some people like to play with hell to pay, don't they? Yeah, if you pay a hell to pay, that's going to put about 7 gold tokens into play, isn't it? Usually, something like that. Maybe even 10. I can't remember how many. I think isn't it hell to pay? Isn't it red? A gold token for every red gem or something. So it's about 7. But even so, we're talking about the same amount of damage it's dealing as whatever that white and red angel thing that Goz likes and I hate is. What's it called? You know, angel? What's that called? No. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's bad. So it's the 20 mana and the defender that make this bad. I mean, sort those out. We could talk about this. All Fates Scroll. At the beginning of your turn, convert 2 gems to your Planeswalker's colours. Okay. See, now we're talking. They've forgotten to put a support subtype on it. We're talking now. We've got a nice cheap conversion land. 2 gems isn't enough, though, is it? 6 mana, 3 gems to your Planeswalker's colours. Is that too good? Bump it up to 8 mana then. 7 or 8 mana, 3 gems. We don't mind that. 2 gems, not enough. When the support is destroyed, draw X cards. X is the number of land supports you control. Oh, maybe it is supposed to be well, no, it can't be a land. Look at it. It's an All Fates Scroll. Why would an All Fates Scroll be a land? I'm guessing it's like a sorcery. Usually when they forget to put a creature type on... No, it's not that one. Usually when I put... I don't mean a creature type. I mean a support subtype on a card. It's usually because they've converted a sorcery from paper. But this doesn't look like a land. Why would a scroll be a land? That makes no sense. Anyway, it's not converting enough gems. 2 gems for 6 mana, not enough. All Fates Stalker. When this creature enters the battlefield, destroy target creature. Okay. Oh, this is a Drix. Okay, apparently we have Drix in this set. I don't know what Drix are. Presumably it's this elfy grey alien thing we see in the picture. When this creature enters the battlefield, destroy target creature. So 10 mana, destroy target creature. I mean, it's a 1-for-1, isn't it? We don't like 1-for-1s these days. 1-for-1s are no longer good enough. I mean, by all means, Webcore, keep printing them, yeah? And then sort power creep out so that 1-for-1s become good again. Just be mindful of the fact that they aren't good now. Warp 5. Let's have a look at Warp 5, Mr. Sulu. A creature with Warp will trigger its Warp effect if you exile that card from your hand and drain mana equal to the Warp value from the last card of your hand with mana. So this is a little bit like cycling, isn't it? You need some mana somewhere in your hand. You exile the card. Cycling, of course, when you cycle it, you draw a card. But this is doing something else. In fact, it's not cycling. You are very specifically not drawing a card, but you're draining 5 mana to destroy target creature, which is, less than 10 mana. I'd prefer this if it was a flip card. The draining mana is just very fiddly, isn't it? It's just very fiddly draining mana when you could just be, choosing which mode you want to play it in. That would be better. Either it's a 10 mana creature or it's a 5 mana non-creature. Both of them destroy a card. I'd prefer that. I think Warp's going to annoy me just because it's kind of drained. But I mean, maybe it will be okay. Cycling is, powerful. It was definitely too good when they first made it, didn't they? Well, the cards that they made around it were really the problem when they first made cycling. So we've not really seen it. They occasionally throw in a card with cycling these days, just 1 or 2, don't they? But it's not the worst mechanic in the world. So we'll just have to see what Warp pans out like, really. I just have a little bit of a aversion to these drain effects, that's all. We'll see. Maybe if it does something really ace when you warp it, maybe I will like it. Alpha Dreaming Acolyte. Okay, when this creature enters the battlefield or is reinforced. It's Tron, isn't it? He's got a Tron costume on. When this creature enters the battlefield or is reinforced. Okay. Well, that's a strange thing to say. We move on. You may discard an artifact card in your... Because mostly you reinforce it by playing a second one, and that would trigger him for the battlefield anyway, wouldn't it? It's an odd thing to say. But, never mind. You may discard an artifact card from your hand if you do draw 2 cards. I don't get any mana in them, so we don't care. At the beginning of your turn, this creature gains Death Touch. Okay. That's obviously from paper, isn't it? You know, in paper, you would... What it means is you can't defend with Death Touch. You can only attack with Death Touch. It makes no difference in Magic Puzzle Quest. Shows a basic misunderstanding of the game. And we move on. Oh, here we go. This is one of the 7 cards I have. Is it me? Or does he look like Jeffrey Epstein there? I'm just going to leave that hanging in the air. So I'm really sorry to do that to everybody. But he bloody does, doesn't he? Alfariel, Stone Chosen. He does, though! So, yeah, this has been spoiled, so I have opinions. Ward, discard a card at random. I mean, I guess I don't mind. I don't... Ward is just not really a thing, is it? We've had Ward for ages, and I can't remember the last time, like, it's been instrumental in winning or losing a game. That's the thing about Ward. I'm sure I might have had to, like, pay for all... It's so infrequent that you have to pay for a ward cost and you give a shit about it. I think the problem is, actually, I'm realising this in real time. The problem is we've got too many untargeted creature kill effects that are too good. That's why ward is pointless. Because you play with those. None of this destroying target creature. Nobody gives a shit about that anymore. No, sweep the leg. When this creature attacks, if a creature or support was destroyed, exiled, or a warp effect triggered this turn, your opponent loses half their life rounded up. Now, I'm going to go and find it. Because this, and I'm pretty sure it's called Slasher, isn't it? Unstoppable Slasher. Yeah? So this costs 1 more mana. We don't really care. It's a 2/3 and not a 3/3. We don't really care. But all this has to do is hit your opponent, right? That's all it has to do. It has to hit your opponent and then they lose half their life. Rounded down, right? Whereas this guy here... Right, we need to delete that. Okay. And go into this set and do that. Yeah, he has to hit your opponent. Well, okay, he has to attack. That's basically the same thing. Hitting your opponent and attacking is basically the same thing. But you also have to do a warp thing. Creatures destroyed, exiled, or a warp effect is triggered. Then your opponent loses half their life. Rounded up this time, but again, that's half a point of damage. We don't care about the difference. So it's basically the same card, only worse, and it's a mythic. So I don't get it. So I actually watched. Hiya, Goz, how you doing? Is he in, by the way? I don't know if he's in. I actually watched Goz's whole video about this. Normally, don't tell any of the content creators I do this. But normally what I do is I just skip through to the middle point of the video and just pull the card out and read the card. Don't bother to watch the video. Don't tell them I do it. They'll never find out if you don't tell them. But I actually watched Goz's whole video about this one to see what Goz would say, because it's so obviously the same as the Slasher, but worse. Goz's take was quite interesting, as he said you could play with this and Slasher, and indeed Master of Cruelties, which does something similar, and have 3 different creatures on the table that all take your opponent's health down by half. Now, honestly, if that's what you want to do, have fun doing that. It's not for me. I am not a Johnny like that, but enjoy it. In fact, that's more of a Timmy thing. That's not even a Johnny thing. That's more of a Timmy thing doing that, isn't it? So have fun if you want to do that. but don't chase this card. We move on. Ancient Tomb. Oh, we've gone off. Oh, no, where is it? Ancient Tomb. When you make your first match by swap each turn. Okay, so that's going to happen every turn. You've got to make a match by swap. You gain 15 mana and lose 15 life. Then this support loses 1 shield. So every turn, you're gaining 15 mana. We like that. We're losing 15 life. We don't like that. Then this support loses 1 shield. I mean, it seems a bit ropey, isn't it? I have been playing with Dark Confidant during the week. I would not play with it in a coalition event. Don't get me wrong. And it's quite good. Like gaining a free card every turn and it filling full of mana. It is kind of worth taking 10 or 20 damage every single turn to do that. Surprisingly enough. I mean, you'd still like to do it without losing the life. I'm not saying it's better than Dragonhawk or Cruel Claw or anything like that, but Dark Confidant does cost 6 mana and you can put it down in a single turn. So I'm not too averse to losing life, but again, I would never play anything like this or Ancient Tomb in a coalition event. But we do just have alternatives with mana filler givers that don't lose you the life, and they cost this costs 12, loot costs 14, he doesn't cost you life. Cruel Claw is what, 15 or 16? 16, I think. Is it loot the key to everything? Anyway, there are mana filler givers. My point is that, every turn they put a card into your hand. This doesn't even give you an extra card. And they don't cost you life. So it's okay. And that's not even getting to the fact that it loses a shield every turn and so only lasts a few turns. And don't kid yourself that it's going to last 4 turns. It'll last 3 tops, So it's okay. It gets to be all the way out of shit tier. But yeah, we're going to have to come back and we are going to have to reassess these cards. I think when the next standard rotation happens. I've been talking about this in the background for a while, the fact that Webcore seem to be trying to make some attempt to slow down power creep. And so a lot of the cards that we're looking at now and saying, well, that's shit compared to a Dragonhawk, we're going to have to reassess them when Dragonhawk rotates out. So, but they are still making some good. I don't think we've had a proper strict mana filler giver for a couple of sets at least. But then again, we did have the fucking Sepulchral Primordial. Do you know what I mean? They may not be making strict mana filler givers that are, as good as the old ones that we have. But they are still making the occasional really fucking bonkers card that does fit in with the mana, with the power creep that we have currently. And we are going to be comparing all of these types of cards to, even after rotation and long into the next standard. So, in conclusion, don't chase Ancient Tomb. We'll come back to it one day, and I think we'll still find it wanting. But it's all right. We move on. Anti-causal Vestige. Whatever the hell that means. When this creature leaves the battlefield... Well, that's not good. So 14 mana 7/5 is uninteresting in the extreme. When this creature leaves the battlefield, draw a card, then the last creature card in your hand gains 10 mana. Right. Can it not just do it when it comes into play? Would that be nice? That would be all right, wouldn't it? We wouldn't mind that so much. It still wouldn't pay for itself. Make it happen when it comes into play. And then we can warp it, draw a card, then the last creature card in your hand gains 5 mana. So the net mana gain there is 0. Thanks very much. So we can draw a card. Basically, we're cycling it, aren't we? For a net mana gain of 0. I mean, high shit tier, 7/5 for 14 mana. Low high shit tier though. High high mid shit tier, maybe high mid shit tier. I don't know. I've lost track of where everything goes in shit tier now. It's all very ad hoc. Arch enemies charm. Now we like charms. Charms are good. Charms usually do 3 different things. This one's not doing them. Charms in the past have done, 3 different things, and you choose between them, don't you? Is this doing 3 things? Let's have a look. Exile target opposing creature. Okay, good start, because we can see there's a lot more written on the card. 13 mana is expensive for that effect. Flash doesn't make it acceptable for it to be 13 mana. Then return the first creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, if it was to play, we'd be laughing, wouldn't it? But it's not. Your first creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. So we have kind of got 3 effects here, haven't we? We're killing a creature. We're getting a creature back to hand. That is low power. And then you're giving something lifelink. And again, I tend to be nice to lifelink, because I remember what it was like when I started playing in 2016. But we have moved on from lifelink being good in and of itself now. So I think what we've basically got here is an expensive creature kill card. But I think we are hopeful. If they're going to put more charms in, I think we are hopeful that we will find a good one. Let's go on. Asteli Reclaimer. We've seen this, haven't we? We've seen this as one of the spoiler cards. And this, honestly, this has got Colours of Magic written all over it, hasn't it? 10 mana 5/4, rare. When this creature enters the battlefield, return the first creature that costs 11 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, 5/4 is not really big enough. I'm sure they've copied it from paper, where it has... If it's not a 5/4, it probably has 1 left toughness and it does power. But really, you want to give it more than 4. In Colours of Magic, anyone who's got a +4 black mana bonus in the one node or a +4 red mana bonus in the other node is going to be able to kill this outright. Need to be, I would say, 5/5. I used to like to play Ashiok, Nightmare Weaver, in Colours of Magic. And the reason I used to like to do that is because he got his blue mana bonus is +5, and that was generally enough to put enough tokens into play, 5 Thopter tokens, that my opponent wouldn't have enough high enough mana bonus to kill them straight away. So 5/5 might have been nice for that reason. Are you paying attention, Webcore? Of course you are not. And we're getting a free creature, aren't we? So, I mean, it almost feels to me, I went to the forum a little while ago and I said to them, look, the problem with Colours of Magic is that you get too much added value from cards that fuck your opponent up, and not enough added value that builds up your own advantage. And this is a classic example of a card that has positive card advantage built into it, to the battlefield no less. It's not just returning to your hand, it's the good one. It's the one that this should have been. But I'm not sure it's going to be good enough, because at the end of the day, what you get is you get 2 creatures. You get something from your graveyard, and you get a 5/4 that doesn't do anything else. And I'm not sure that's good enough, to be perfectly honest. So it does look like very much a Colours of Magic card, but I really feel like it's not going to be good enough. This is weird, though, as well, though, isn't it? Because with the whole 11 cost, you really think that, they looked at this card and went, yes, this is definitely a Colours of Magic card. So why would they give it Warp? Warp only works when you drain mana from a card. You can't drain mana from anything in Colours of Mana. It's weird. Again, I'm sure it's from paper, but it's weird. So in conclusion, it's Colours of Magic. I don't know, maybe you'll find some particular use for it that you like outside of Colours of Magic, and if you do, enjoy, but it seems too low power to me. Atmospheric Greenhouse. Again, I like the art there. It's very, very strange, but I like it. When this support enters the board, your first creature gets +1/+2. Right, well, wow. I mean, now my head's already spinning from my first creature getting +1/+2. I mean, that is a really powerful effect. We're going to need to have a really high station number now to make up for the fact that my first creature gets +1/+2. Station 5. Oh, thank God. I am so relieved by that. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may destroy this card. Okay. And then you get to put a thing into play. Go on, have a guess. What is this? Maybe a 5. I'm going to guess it's a 5/5. That's what I think. If it was a 10/10, it still wouldn't be good enough, would it? But I'm going to guess it's a 5. Oh, it's an 8/8. It's got flying and trample. That's nothing. Oh, it is nearly a 10/10. Look at that. It's an 8/8. Your first creature gets +1/+2. So it's going to most likely be a 9/10. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised by the fact it's a 10. It is, as I just said, still not good enough. Station 5. I mean, fuck off, Station 5. This is going to be the problem, isn't it? Is that we've got these station cards that are rare and uncommon, and we're finding station on them, and it's not good enough. Yeah, this is a mythic with with station on it, and that's not good enough. So all of the fucking commons are going to be such absolute dog shit. It's going to be quite depressing to go through them. Never mind. Chase card. Atomic Microsizer. Okay, we're doing some inner space now, are we? When this support enters the board and at the beginning of your turn, your first creature gets +1/+0 until the beginning of your next turn. How about your first creature gets +1/+1? There you go. How many words is that? It's better than 4 lines of text, isn't it? You know you can do it. Go and have a look at Brawler's Plate. Yeah? The functionality is in the game to do that, Webcore. Just have a go. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature's base power and toughness becomes 1/1. Then it becomes unblockable. Right. I mean, obviously this card is terrible. I'm just kind of thinking about the possibilities of what a good card that turned creatures, gives a base power into 1/1 would look like, you know? It's too niche, isn't it? That's the thing. It's too, even if you're to turn this into a good card, turning something into a 1/1 is too niche. It's either got to be a 0/1, well, how about a 0/0? That'd be good. So shit, we move on. Auxiliary boosters. How are we doing for time? I think we'll have a fairly short one today. We'll do a few more cards. Have we got? Well, we're coming up to a rare. We'll get as far as the rare, but don't want to overdo it tonight. So we'll do a couple more cards and then we'll call it quits for the night. Thank you so much for being in, everybody. Of course, I have my little elves talking away in the chat today. Which is lovely. Entertaining anybody who's... How many people have we had in, elves? 3. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. Pretty good for me. I'm happy with that kind of turnout. When this support enters the board, create a robot token. Right, so that's a 2/2. Unimpressive. At the beginning of your first turn, your first creature gets +1/+2 and gains flying. So, rubbish. Beamsaw Prospector. When this creature dies... Not liking this, create a lander token. Now, we haven't seen this before. This is a big thing in Paper. Lander tokens are the token of the set, and they are a colour fixing thing. At the beginning of your turn, this support loses 1 shield. When this support is destroyed, convert 2 gems to your Planeswalker's colours. So what, that might happen on my opponent's turn? Yeah? And give my opponent mana? Fuck off. I mean, could it be... We have had... What's it called? Landforming... Is it landforming? We have had effects that create conversion lands into play. You know? And I wouldn't even mind if the spell itself was good. I wouldn't even mind if it put an uncommon landforming token into play that only converted 2 lands. I mean, mostly we stuck to the 3... to the rares that converted 3, didn't we? Yeah. There was that black thing that destroyed creatures that converted 3. And there was a red one that did a lot of damage to things and converted 3. It was a mythic. So you can do it. We can have creatures that create lands and spells generally that create lands. Why make this lander token such absolute shit? I mean, I get it. In paper, they create tokens that you sacrifice for land. That's the idea, and they're trying to get close to that idea. The tokens in paper don't create lands like some other effects have done in the past. But that doesn't mean to say you need to stay so slavishly devoted to the idea of paper that you end up making this dog shit token. It's bad. Don't like it. And I don't think I'm going to like any fucking cards that put lander tokens on them. Right, this is going to be the last one for the night. Let's make it a good one. Actually, this looks okay, doesn't it? Exile all creatures for 15. Then exile all spacecraft supports on the board. No, it doesn't look okay. So it's a board sweep for 15 mana. We don't mind exiling everything. I mean, that's occasionally relevant, isn't it? Rather than blowing them up, you know, we like exiling Grist's creatures, so he can't immediately, can't immediately put them straight into play. I do particularly like exiling, you know, or bouncing, or otherwise reducing the parameters of loot because of his shield tokens that he has. Requisition rate can't necessarily deal with that, but there's never been a problem. I've never actually had a problem with the fact that my primary destruction in standard at the moment is requisition rate, and I do occasionally come up against loot, and why wouldn't you? He's quite a good card. But it is, at the end of the day, a board sweep that costs 15 that does both sides of the board. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go out on a limb, my famous limb, and say that spacecrafts are all going to be fucking shite, aren't they? They're all going to be stations, I bet. Do we reckon they're all going to be stations? I reckon they're all going to be stations. Which means that I'm never going to play them and Greg's never going to play them. So this is basically an expensive board sweep, you know. So we have plenty. I mean, didn't we have... I just got one from Puzzle Masters 2 the other day. Ghost, I want to say Ghostway. I think it's called Ghostway. And it destroys all creatures in play. And then you get a stack of tokens as well after it does it. And it's better than this. And it's still not that good. So, yeah. That's going to be it for tonight, folks. I know I've only got 20 cards in, but we did do all of the preliminary work on the Planeswalkers and stuff. Part 2, we can say provisionally maybe Thursday or Friday. Seems like a good time for part 2. Thank you all so much for coming in. And hopefully I'll manage to get it working. Obviously, I'm having problems with my streaming software, taking forever to get working. But I think I'm getting on top of it. It is YouTube's fault. I have discovered that. It's not my fault, I promise. So I will see you later in the week. Keep an eye out. Thursday, probably Thursday. Let's call it Thursday or Friday. See you then. Bye.